Hello, good afternoon, guys. I hope you guys are doing great. Back again. Happy Monday. I've been hoping to come on live, but I've been a little occupied. So forgive my lateness. Guys, welcome to this live video. We're going to be talking about the latest update concerning the 8 million undocumented people that we're hoping to get, an adjustment of status through budget reconciliation, through the budget reconciliation process. Welcome, guys. I have a few minutes and I have to run off. So please stick with me and then let's go over this. Let's just spill the juice and the tea as quickly as we can. Okay, so basically, as you guys know, there was a budget reconciliation bill, $3.5 million, through which the Democrats were trying to actually pass the immigration reform, try to get undocumented people to adjust their status by saying that immigration reform would be would have an effect on the economy, on taxing, on spending, on the budget, the $3.5 million budget. And this was brought to Senate, and both sides of the Senate actually argued in favor of where they stood. So the Democrats, of course, were in favor of passing an immigration reform through a budget reconciliation, but the Democrats were in favor, but the Republicans were not in favor. So the Senate parliamentarian who is in charge, who is an arbiter, an independent arbiter, and is supposed to make a determination on such issues to make sure that the Byrd rule is followed. So if something is, a bill is supposed to go through budget reconciliation, it's her job to actually analyze and then come out with a determination about whether that reform would be extraneous to the budget or not. Okay, so this person, interesting enough, this parliamentarian, who's McDonald, I think she's Elizabeth McDonald, she was once an immigration attorney, so we were hoping that she would actually include the immigration reform in the budget reconciliation package. But unfortunately, we hit a snag. She said no. Okay, so of course, we're going to go through that very briefly. And I have the text of her ruling here. We'll just look at a very short part of her ruling, the parliamentarian's ruling as to her consideration of the immigration reform bill as part of the budget reconciliation proposal. Okay, so yep, she was an immigration attorney. I was really hoping that she would say that this could form part of the budget reconciliation, but apparently not. Okay, so let me just give another brief overview. So as you guys know, with the House of Representatives, when a bill is brought, so let me start. As always, Article 1 of the U.S. Constitution gives mandate to Congress to pass laws that affect the United States. So we have in Congress, we have the House on one hand and Senate on one hand. With the House, we have representatives. I think that 435, and votes are passed by a simple majority, meaning the people present, simple majority, a bill is passed. However, with Senate, it's more complicated. It's passed by a super majority, meaning out of the 100 senators, we always need 60 votes to be able to pass bills. However, the reason why this is becoming so difficult is that we have a split Senate. We have 50 on Democrats, 50 on Republicans. Just Vice President Harris is, breaking the tie, and so we don't have the super majority that we need to be able to pass bills. And so at this point, they were trying to override something known as the filibuster, where they don't need a supermajority, where you can pass bills through a budget reconciliation. Okay, if you are able to prove that the bill forms, a main part of the economy of the U.S. simply put. Okay, so that's that. And once this bill was once the immigration reform now was made part of the budget reconciliation, we needed somebody who was the parliamentarian, who's, you know, a non-partisan person who rules, who gives decisions based on the Senate rules, to be able to determine whether, yes, the budget reconciliation, the immigration reform that forms part of the budget reconciliation proposal was not extraneous to the budget. And she's come out with a ruling yesterday, and she says, no, not happening under her watch. She thinks that the immigration reform is actually a major policy change and not it doesn't really have a direct budgetary impact. And so you know, we should not include it as part of the budget reconciliation. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's read a little part of her ruling, and then, you know, we will discuss a little bit, just keeping it very short and sweet, guys. I, of course, have to run off. Okay, so I have the decision here. Well, after, we're going to just talk about, you know, whether that's the end of the road. Let me answer that that is not the end of the road. The Democrats, of course, could have other plans to kind of overturn it. They could decide to fire the parliamentarian. They could decide to overrule her through Kamala Harris or whatever. So we don't know what their next steps are going to be. They're going to reveal that to us, because President Joe Biden seems really bent on passing this immigration reform. And no, let me scroll up, guys. Drop me your comments. I'll be reading the comments. Please drop them, and then let's get interactive. We're just keeping it short, but still, yeah, right here. I thought I had the text here. It's PBS, right? Yeah, PBS. Hold on. Let me scroll down here. Okay. So yeah, we have it here. Okay. Okay, let's go back here. So let's look at the issue that she actually considered. So she said, the question before us is whether a series of proposed amendments to the INA that remove existing barriers to adjustment of status to that of a lawful permanent residence for a variety of existing and newly created classes of immigrants and non-immigrants, including many not legally present in the United States, is a policy change that substantially outweighs the budgetary impact of that change. So that's what she was going to determine, whether, you know, the policy change element of the immigration reform bill as part of the budget outweighs the budgetary impact of the change that the Democrats were seeking to introduce into the immigration statute. Okay, so she believes that it is. She believes that it's a policy change. It's not a budget issue. So don't try to sneak budgetary, don't try to sneak immigration reform into a budget, because according to her, the fact that it's a policy change is more major. It's more of a policy issue than it is a budgetary issue. So don't include it in a budget. Okay, so that's it. Let me scroll down a little more to the pertinent aspects of her decision again here. Yeah, all of this is quite important, but we won't be review. Well, let me see. Let me just go to the lower part, the bottom of this part. Yeah, not here, right here. Okay, that's it. Yeah, one of her major considerations. Okay, so according to her, here it is. So she was saying that, okay, if we are able to adjust the status of people through budget reconciliation, of course, through a simple majority vote in this reconciliation measure, that was going to set a precedent where, you know, there could be the argument that somebody's immigration status could also be rescinded or could be cancelled just by of course, a vote again. Okay, so this simply means that she did not want that to happen. So normally when you are going to be stripped of your green card or whatever, you need to go through court. Okay, you need to go through a process, a trial, because it's of course it's you cannot take somebody's status as a green card holder. Okay, once you're depriving somebody of life, liberty, or property, you need to go through the proper legal channels. And so her point is this: permitting this provision in reconciliation would set a precedent that could be used to argue that rescinding any immigration status from anyone would be permissible because the policy of stripping status from any immigrant does not vastly outweigh whatever budgetary impact there may be. Let me just go down some more. I admit this is quite a rushed video. I've come your way a little late. So, okay. Yeah, so we got that right here. Yeah, so long story short, she thinks that, you know, we should not use this method because that would mean that you could actually, you know, cancel somebody's, I don't want to use the word resigned or rescind somebody's immigration status because of the method through which they are able to obtain the immigration status. So for her, it's a policy issue, and the policy, this is evidenced by the fact that this policy change far outweighs the budgetary impact. So the budgetary impact, again, is, according to her, is quite minimal as compared to the policy change. That's it. It's not appropriate for inclusion in reconciliation in a budget. So that's that. Okay, so let me see right here. Let's see. Some people are saying that, look, what's the point of having majority in, you know, in Senate if we cannot overrule some of these decisions by the parliamentarians? So some are advocating that, look, let's overrule this. Let's find ways to still pass this bill despite the parliamentarians' ruling. So we wait to see what the Democrats are actually going to do within the next few days. Okay, yeah. Okay, so note that the parliamentarians' advice, they can ignore it. Senate can ignore it, or they can overturn her advice. Of course, the presiding officer of the Senate, her advice can't be overturned by somebody known as the presiding officer of the Senate. This is apparently rare. It's not really done. The last time this was done, I mean, was in 1975, according to these documents that I have here. Oh, actually, her advice was also publicly overturned in 2013. Also, so I mean, it's not too common, but it's possible that the Democrats can overturn, or they can overrule McDonough, who's the parliamentarian. Okay, so it depends on what the White House is going to say, because remember, with the minimum wage issue also, McDonough overruled, I mean, she stated that she was not in favor, and you know, was not going to include it in the, was it the COVID bill? And then the White House could actually, well, Kamala Harris could actually overrule, Vice President Kamala Harris could overrule McDonough, but the White House decided not to do so. So, of course, again, she can be fired, the parliamentarian, McDonough can be fired. We're not sure what the Democrats are going to do, but they really, really want to pass this immigration reform bill. So let's keep our fingers crossed and see what they are going to come out with. Okay. All right, guys. So this was a very quick one. I hope I can make some time to come again your way tomorrow or during the week, and then we can talk a little bit more about this, because I know we have to, you know, look into the text of the bill, talk some more about who the essential workers are and who this would cover. All right, let me read one comment here. Olamide Adibayo says, well done, beautiful attorney. Thank you so much, Olamide. Guys, thank you so much for joining. Of course, if you have any type of U.S. immigration law issue and you need my help, 802-780-0564, and I will be very happy to assist you. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. Please take care and be safe. Bye-bye.